Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the DAC 2017 CIS Qualifiers. I'm Lyrical, going to be joined as well by Trent Paxson. Well, Trent, we had some problems in the first series of the day. Unfortunately, VP no longer with us, but we do have friends facing off against Comanche, and well, I'm really excited for this one. How you feeling?
I'm very pleased to just get back into some Dota here. I'm like settling into the draft. We're just gonna let the morning wash away a new series here, and we'll just focus on Friends and Comanche here. So Darkseer, where's the Ember? Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna not do it? They're not gonna do it. Chucking that Ember back at Friends if they want it. So the draft so far, largely predictable, I would say. The big thing, probably that Earth Spirit ban was a thought there, just because Friends have been playing very well with that, opening up with it quite a bit as well. And yeah, a worthy pick here. So we talked a lot about Rubik and Pudge and their abilities to pull lanes. Gonna be watching for those shenanigans here, as we can expect a dire mid pull. Could go for a stronger, even like you can even grab a weaker mid, despite the fact you're not gonna have the final pick here for Friends, which is a very important part of Rubik. On the other hand, Darkseer, Pudge, Nyx, a nice little pick here to counter up against the potentials of the Darkseer combos.
Yeah, I like it. This does feel like a pretty interesting one, the first phase Nyx, but I like what you're saying there, being able to counter out Darkseer. We'll see if that is going to end up working for them, or if maybe they're not able to execute it absolutely perfectly. Pudge getting taken with the Darkseer, it feels to me like this is the ultimate in terms of high ground defense. Like, if you walk up there and you try and storm the castle without all your heroes, you're going to get vacuumed into wall, and likewise if you just send up one, Pudge can pull them back out and away and causes some issues there as well. And I also liked what you're saying about those pulls at the early stages. I'm kind of curious to see if Friends are going to make an early rotation to try and like block off the off lane pull that's there, and likewise if Comanche are going to focus on trying to disrupt the ancient stuff that comes out from Rubik.
Yeah, and that's an important thing to be focusing on too. I guess if Pudge is going to be doing those pulls, there's not too much chance for him to actually be the one disrupting in the 4 role, so it could be difficult for them to actually find something to do, unless they're going to like leave their safe lane carry alone or something like that. But well, we'll have to see. Might just be some trades in terms of the overall pulls on our lanes. The other thing is, going with the Pudge means you like Darkseer's doesn't really need someone pulling his lane. It's just gonna be pushing the whole time anyway with ion shells and like guaranteed farm. So this means that Pudge maybe not gonna be as effective at that this game. Could also still do it on like the Radiant side and actually pull the wave into that camp instead of just nuking it at the tower, which is possible. But we'll have to see. It won't be quite as straightforward as we've often seen, like Pudge Centaur or something like that. Someone who just needs a little bit of help in the lane to make him a very well set in the early game.
Well, and you think about it, if they do manage to get a rod out as well as Ion Shell on top of it, that is so much damage. I mean, even into the early mid game, that's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and not to mention surging forward the Butcher. That would cause a lot of issues. So Friends are at least going to have to consider. They already have the null field just in general for the later stages, being able to have that damage mitigation. But Nyx Assassin, not a mech carrier, not somebody who's going to pick that up. Do you think they need a hero that would allow them to pick up that sustain out of their next couple of picks? Or what's your read on like the Nyx Assassin's role? Is this going to be a 3, or is he going to be put back to a 4?
I would guess he'd be a 3. I think it's definitely the most common one. It's okay. I think as long as he counters out, which he already does with the Darkseer, then you can justify putting him at the 4, and he's an okay setup as a support from the Rubik. But more than likely, he'll be rocking that off lane. And what I'd really like to see is just ways to help enable him. Make sure that as his 6 comes online, he'll be happy. We've already seen Afterlife play a fantastic Nyx Assassin in his games. This is definitely the hero I would want him on when it came to the elimination. I would not have said that after their first Nyx game. I was losing faith because he missed out on a bunch of ganks, and more so just the opponents were playing very well up against it. They were having a really hard time against Empire actually getting them going, so they lost the first game. But game number 2, he really turned it back around, made quite a show of himself, and it was even banned in the first phase after that by Empire to take it away. So expecting a lot of him. And now, in terms of dealing with pulls from the other side, the Ogre Magi, fantastic at this. Maposhka himself was doing a good job of it in our previous series, but now it's going to be Friends. rocking out.
10 seconds
The
remaining.
ogre man, the disruptor of pulls, the massive regen, the bully himself.
5 seconds
And I
remaining.
imagine that this is probably going to be Bignum playing it, since No Fear is consistently felt to me
Reserve
like
time.
more of the playmaker out of the two supports, and usually you're going to want to throw that on the Rubik, and that almost assuredly gives us an Afterlife Nyx Assassin. With Terrorblade now getting taken for Comanche, it's
Dire team pick.
well, a hero that we talked a lot about in the last game, and I kind of like it in this draft. You've got Disable already, a decent chunk of it. There's not like that great follow-up to the Darkseer vacuum yet, but they can help to figure that out with their last pick is probably going to be a mid. But now,
10 seconds
just that
remaining.
right-click damage dealer, the Terrorblade. What a monster.
5
Yeah, we were
seconds
saying he's been
remaining.
doing very well. The only game he lost was a def loss, at least that I can recall. He seems to be very strong in all the
Reserve
matches that
time.
we've been witnessing him with, and Comanche was no exception. The one game they won yesterday up against Vega was a victory with Terrorblade. They also love their Dazzle too, so it's kind of funny to see the Witch Doctor this time. We've been seeing a ton of Dazzle out from them almost every game.
Radiant team
Their first
back.
phase pick, but
Hmm.
off to the TB we go. TB versus Sniper. Thrilling ride of annoying heroes.
Yeah, I think that Sniper is still maybe a bit more annoying. I was looking at the
10
stats before
seconds
and like all
remaining.
these things, like headshot having a 40% chance, and then
5
on top of that, the
seconds
shrapnel
remaining.
slow. It's just, if you walk too far forward, it is just a painful
Reserve
death
time.
getting plinked away at. And oh god, what a hero! He's a problem.
Yeah, I like that pick right now too, just because it essentially guarantees. I would say the Terrorblade probably won't go mid. Just he can abuse in certain situations. Like if they were to take a weaker mid right now and show that, even with the Rubik pulls, we might see the
Dire team
Terrorblade head
back.
mid, and then they get like another even greedier safe lane, which might enable the Pudge down the bottom lane too, where he could be pulling and making sure that that safe lane goes well, and then suddenly you just get insanely out-greeded as friends while you're trying to do these little pulls and plays the Rubik and Ogre while they're just building
10
up all this net
seconds
worth on the enemy
remaining.
side. So I think the Sniper's a decent way to help out with that. The only thing is he doesn't have the best range for like in terms of the globalness with like the
Radiant
Nyx Assassin
team
and whatnot,
pick.
but that's a Troll Warlord.
What
This
the
will only be
hell?
the second one I've seen. I saw that NP. I didn't get to catch the whole game, unfortunately, but I watched parts of it. I think it was AUI who was playing it, but they lost in their. There was a best of one
10
tiebreaker
seconds remaining.
for
Oh,
another
right, yeah.
tournament. Yeah, and the Troll Warlord did not come
5
through with the
seconds
support Tiny,
remaining.
although I'm a big fan of support Tiny. Either way, it's going to be with a Sniper, someone who already has decent attack speed
Reserve
and
time.
loves to build those flat damage items, take advantage of that. So now that's going to be buffed up even further with Bloodlust. These are going to be some serious plinks flying out of the Sniper.
God, yeah, and I guess you kind of make Bloodlust a little bit less effective since you're going to be going at, the crazy high attack
10
speed anyways. Maybe it
seconds
still doesn't end up mattering. A bonus 180 at that max level, and well, they're going to be going back for the Centaur, so a hell of a lot of really strange heroes getting taken. What are you okaying about now? What's your thoughts?
They are going to send the TB mid. He does have really high armor, so that's fine. He'll probably get a lot of help too. It seems at least that he'll be heading to the mid lane. We'll have to find out. But the Centaur Warrunner, the Darkseer. I like the troll up against the Terrorblade to help deal the solutions and giving the mischance, but I know this is kind of like all in Terrorblade, right? Lots of enabling for him this game, it seems, for Comanche.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're going to hop into this. Game number 1. Friends facing off against Comanche, and it's going to be a hell of a game. I really like seeing the Troll Warlord there, like you're talking about, and the
10
AoE
seconds
axes to get the
remaining.
blind out. There's not another great way to deal with the Terrorblade illusions.
5
So we'll have to
seconds
see how it ends
remaining.
up working, but we'll switch into the game now, have that little bumper playing. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Here we go. Oh my god, it's great, but something that we're well versed in now. We are expert pause people dealing with it. How you doing, man?
Oh, just grand. I don't think I can handle. If there's a pause mid game, I might just have to leave. Don't think I'm gonna make it.
It is a little bit weird. It hasn't been as bad recently, it's felt like. I'm kind of wondering if this pause is just so everybody can get down their initial items. Like, that's kind of what this starts for, right? Like, that's why we see
Yeah.
the pauses at the beginning?
I'm okay with the initial pause. That's some hotkey things, certain heroes, just all those kind of discussions. And I did notice last time we watched Comanche, but I didn't get a chance to mention this hilarious effigy the Eternal Envy one. It's just a dead Drow Ranger, and all it says is Eternal Envy. Created by Arc. I noticed it the previous time we played, and I was like, damn, dude, that's kind of savage.
That is great. Damn. Arc. Oh, he was... I thought I saw him in the lobby earlier in the VP... VP, who was the team that ended up beating them out? LQ.
Oh,
game.
yeah, he was.
He wasn't. I was like, what's he doing in here? Interesting. Well, I guess he's coming back in now, doing the early scouting for the team that they might have to play as it goes on. Again, a little bit of context as to where we are. This is the lower bracket elimination matchup. So the loser of this best of 3 is going to be out of DAC forever and for all eternity. And meanwhile, we've already ended up losing one today. Virtus Pro, for anybody that's just waking up or just starting to read the headlines, they're gone from the tournament. They're not going to be in DAC.
This is exciting. This is a mid-centaur. Okay, so this is probably the best matchup against the sniper without a lot of help. You can imagine Poor Man's Shield, as well as the return. It's going to be pretty hilarious to watch Sniper try and harass him. I have not seen a Centaur mid before.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is some top-notch stuff. I guess they know that Farm's going to be denied out in the mid lane, so they don't really want to send TV there, as he is pretty money-hungry. The only thing is, if they send the TB mid, there would have been the possibility for like that support to still be nearby and interrupt the pulls and all that. But they're just going to ignore it altogether. You can see they're also defending here from Friends, ensuring that this will be here. Maybe catching our previous series where it was being disrupted and the wards were coming down.
Yeah, that's a good point. They want to make sure that they're going to be able to get that pull consistently. And well, I'm kind of wondering, like, this is the thing, is that this guy, ILTW, he's been playing before, and he played an excellent Invoker the other day when we watched it. But now all of this, you know, the Poor Man's Shield also invested in early. Do you like this decision? It seems like, I guess you don't go for Vanguard anymore. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I think he'll just be really active. Try and get an earlier Blink Dagger.
Okay.
Should be good. I'm very excited to watch Sniper just not be able to punch him. I don't know. That pleases me.
So 51 damage. How much is the melee block? 20, is that right? So yeah, melee block of 20.
Shield. Yeah.
But No Fear is going to be here to cause some issues. He hasn't skilled return yet. Maybe a little bit of a mistake, but he's actually taking a decent chunk of damage.
Yeah. Certainly until the levels stack up, it's not going to be the worst case scenario here for Yoku, especially with No Fear helping out. And, well, you said the playmaker. It's the Ogre plays this game. Bignum,
Apparently.
he is a pretty stellar Rubik player, so I'm okay with handing it off to him.
Okay. Yeah, and meanwhile, up here top, Arc, Misha, they're going to have themselves a pretty fine old time, I would say, is Afterlife not going to have a great one. I am liking seeing the position 1 farming hero get moved over to the offlane. It feels like this is a better place for him just in general.
Look at Bignum down here, too. Oh, did he actually get it? Wow, what a player.
Yeah, he was able to get it off there. So the full pull comes back in. God, that's crazy. So it was just a straight up pull off to the side there. Ugh.
Yeah, isn't that telekinesis? Nicely done.
Oh, No Fear. Over here to the side, though, they've got Misha in the area as well as the Rock coming down. And LTW, if they pull out and away from his lane, he's just going to head over and regardless. Doesn't even care. That should be the kill. Nicely done.
Hook to secure it. Make sure he gets the gold for himself there on Chuvash. And they smoke. They want to just make some more action happen. You gotta imagine this is where they're going. The ping comes out.
Oh,
let's go.
baby.
They'll
Chuvash.
be a little bit late for the bounty, though. And now Yoku's so tempting.
Oh, God, that was really close. That would have been the kill. Would have been huge if they could have found it. And Misha's still in the area, so they can't be too lackadaisical here.
And now for the Radiant, though, all this pressure, leaving Arc all alone. And nothing really for Afterlife to do about it. So a happy TB. Although there is quite a bit of farm starting to stack up on the dire side, as we also do a very happy Aloha dance down here. Some creeps being pulled. Oh, nice hook there, but it's an Ogre, so doesn't matter.
Wasn't able to steal away the regen rune, unfortunately. No Fear still picks it up, which does deny it away from the sniper, which is always a good thing. But yeah, curious which way LTW decides to level this. Already has gone for just the 1-1, saving the points the rest of the way.
Yeah, for now he'll just hope Chuvash can hit a hook. Needs to keep the point in case he needs hoof stomp.
Very scary. And it looks like movement. And do you like the idea of maxing out return as it goes, like when he gets level 4 here?
Not really. It's probably they're probably gonna need his damage, I would guess. So, I'm not too sure, but we'll see. Maybe he'll mix it up a bit. Likely gonna need quite a bit of hoof stomp and double edge though to make him a happy centaur. I tell you, Bignum is really showing off like the ideal Rubik game though, because his game starts, he gets the stack, he makes the pull, he farms the camp. He then comes down here, he stacks this as well. So now his troll has some resources to go back to, and he's level 3 in a bit, which is ahead of a Pudge who got first blood.
Yeah.
So kind of absurd what you can do with nothing but neutrals in the early game as Rubik, especially on this dire side.
Well, and that's something too for any of you aspiring players out there. Just go try it in a lobby, make it happen. It's easy to do, and well, not easy, but easy if you practice it enough, and well, you end up giving your team a huge advantage, and that's why this hero has been consistently first picked throughout a lot of these qualifying events. So
yeah, well, he also, yeah, as long as I guess you don't have the range and things to deal with. That was impressive. It's hard to always get the full wave too. A lot of the time you'll see Rubiks just get the range creep, but having the double stack, pulling them out nice and far, they get a little bit body blocking each other, and then that perfectly timed toss.
oh yeah.
So impressive.
Ooh.
Maybe a little bit annoying, but still impressive.
Afterlife, a couple more bounces now, not going to be there. Still only 1 point up in that cask, unfortunately. Mid lane, as they are going to ILTW. No way out for him right here. Hoof Stomp trying to turn and make it happen. Not going to be there.
I thought that was you.
Okay. Rubik again, making an impact here.
Radiant's
Haste
middle
rune.
tower is under attack.
Yoku has a little bit of a fun time. So it's not a 1v1 scenario. Perhaps they were a little bit too worried about getting a mid that would suffer in such a situation with all this pressure coming through. Afterlife now, though.
Oh, up in the top, they're going to be able to get a nice impale to keep that little separation, and the hook back in. Afterlife turned, actually. It was a little bit awkward there. Not sure if there was some pathing issue or what, but guys.
Yeah. They had a ward anyway, so likely dead. But 2-1 now, and the kill heading over to our Witch Doctor there.
Ooh, they're going to run into Bignum, and realizing that he's here, they back out again. So do you think, I mean, obviously the mid-center has not gotten a ton. Is this ward, do they spot out the Pudge? Not quite. Yeah, I think they see that he's over there, though. Do you think that this has worked out okay for Comanche in their early movements? Do you think that they're okay with the way that it's gone, or were they expecting more out of this centaur?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. Obviously, we don't see too much mid-centaur, so I'm not exactly sure what their expectations were, but I think they would have liked a little bit more pressure onto this troll, as well as the fact their centaur, at least now he's gotten level 5. He was even further behind. He's just kind of waiting with 6 here. Not getting much done himself, though.
Yeah. Oh. No, not really willing to leave this lane. No Fear and Yoku having a good time with it. But they could be thinking about diving up here in the top lane. Arc going to not have Metamorphosis, but dealing some damage there with the illusions and trying to bring down that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, Bignum gonna grab himself another TP, it looks like here. So he's ready for some rotations. Oh, actually, he handed off to Yoku to make sure Yoku will be ready. This is a nice play here from the support. Ensure his sniper will be able to join the fight.
Yeah, level 6 now, it's going to mean that any dives could be punished, that they realize that Afterlife is here. Do they decide to drop any ward? Do they have any detection? Even Bignum also here. They could get double. This could be huge. They're going to be able to catch it. Arc, a ton of damage. The hook not going to be able to pull him back in and away. And they end up bringing down the Terrorblade. Really, really terrible there for Comanche.
That's so they scan back here and it's red, like okay, he's there, and then it turns green and they don't see him. I think maybe they thought he wasn't 6 or something at that point, but the way they moved, it was just guaranteed. Like he just comes out invis, but it looks like he TP'd out, and so not expecting the setup from the Nyx. Then again, why would Bignum TP in if that wasn't the case? So perhaps just caught a little bit off guard there, and a very important pickup for them.
Well, definitely needing to make sure that they bring some of that detection, and that does leave open a ton of space for Yoku up in the top lane, building towards that Maelstrom next if he wants to. Already very farmed. Both him and the Troll Warlord just having a great game, and kind of struggling to see what Comanche are going to do moving forward over the next couple minutes.
Yeah, this is just going to be one of the best items to capitalize on the unbelievable attack speed he's going to have. All that magic damage. Very handy against someone with super high armor like Terror Blade. Clearing out those illusions.
Maybe the moment down bottom. Aloha Dance gain turned upon. Pops his ulti, wants to fight, and with Afterlife there as well, the Impale. It's not enough to save the troll, but they will be able to find that kill. Bignum now trying to run them down as well. Haster and Rubik is pretty mad about this one, but it looks like they might be able to find this kill as well. Is he going to happen? 6 wand charges, but not going to be able to pop him in time. That would have probably taken down the Rubik with a hook.
Oh, the shrines!
Oh my god, barely staying alive. Bignum, big plays.
Close. Didn't have a chance to steal anything there from the Witch Doctor. He was, not quite finding his moment. Although he'll be happy with this one. Oh, thank you. Time to go try and make a smoke play, perhaps, with his Nyx Assassin.
So 640 damage is what Rubik has on hand right now, magical, for any gank. This is one of the best parts. Like, people always, I think, go immediately to the ultimate and being able to steal big ultis, but at this early stage of the game, taking a level 4 spell is amazing.
Oh, yeah. And, like, right away, he bought smoke, sent that courier. Because Nyx Assassin's about to have Vendetta, and just right now, just came off cooldown, and time to go. Bignum is ready, and the targets, though, they have evacuated the bottom half of the map. They're up top, and they're looking to get aggressive. Sadly, the only thing they're likely to find will be No Fear.
That is really
not hiding away.
It's not the kill you're looking for. That is for dang sure. Although he will probably be taking the gank. It does look like they're TPing one up top. This is Bignum here. And No Fear is going to back out. So it will just give up this tower, it looks like.
Yeah, if Afterlife doesn't TP, there's not really much hope. He's in full range of the Radiant down bottom, so
Dire's top tower has fallen.
They're fine with just continuing.
Aloha Dance next going back for Helm of the Dominator, it appears. How much do you feel like the Troll Warlord build will have changed? Like, you still eventually just go BKB and build attack speed and movement speed, right?
Yeah, it should just still be your kind of standard carry core. Not too big of a deal here. That new helm is pretty nice for this guy, though. I guess it's nice for all cores, but not something that we really used to see in the older days of Troll. The days of yore. What do we have now? Yoku going towards that Dragonlance. So he canceled it on the Maelstrom, did he?
I guess, yeah. Deciding to go back for the Dragonlance instead. I just realized we have both Troll and Sniper in this game. It's 6.83 back again.
Yeah, man. We're living.
They can't
Just
win
need,
now.
It can't be allowed.
Yeah.
Just can't.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This could be a nice play here. I don't know if it's going to be too easy to find a kill with the Nyx Assassin right now, but just that constant threat keeping himself off the map.
This is what we saw happen up against Afterlife last time, too, where he ran into a lot of trouble continually getting kills off of the Vendetta just by teams grouping up, as well as using a lot of sentries. We'll have to see if he gets stifled here again. Currently, not looking too great. Darkseer well ahead of him, about 1,300 gold, and this group up is just going to get worse and worse. Already have the Helm, have a creep to help out with the vacuums. And, well, for now, it's just scouting over here with an Ion Shell. It's a nice little play.
This is pre-Blink Dagger, but they hook back in one. Is going to be able to catch, but the Nyx Assassin is going to be able to stun onto several. Still trying to chase. Arc is going to be dealing so much damage here if they're able to stay on top of one target. But Aloha Dance turns now. Look at Colin. He's going to end up falling. They get that kill as well. So 2 down right now for Comanche, and a third as well. Wow, bloodlusted Troll.
What a sick play. He runs this way. Now he is the Vendetta back, and he's coming in behind the towers.
Oh, my God. He's got him. Another one going their direction. Oh, wow. That was terrible.
Such a heads-up play. He just, the whole fight starts with him getting caught there. He runs down this way with about 200 HP, and he's just always ahead of them. Like, he knows they don't have the damage to deal with them, just runs in the fog for a second, Vendetta, and boom. No real hope there for the Terrorblade, but Afterlife, man. Showing why they first picked this hero for him. He's hit so many good impales already this game. Not the easiest thing to make look easy as an Nyx Assassin. I think we all know that.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the worst ones in the game. And you also saw there the Rubik Bignum making plays again for his team. He stole Stampede, and he's been a part of every single one of his team's kills. 8-0-3 with 14 last hits and already up to level 7 at this point. Friends are looking quite strong.
And yeah, this was a jungle Rubik too.
Yeah.
Still getting involved.
Well, you said you were going to leave. Are we still sticking
yeah,
with
no,
me?
I'm done. Yeah, I'll stay. I guess it's fine.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for sure. The plus side about it being this early on is that the respawn time's still very low, and it should be able to head out across the map and maybe push out these other lanes before, the tier 1 tower ends up going down mid. You talking about the group up potential that this Comanche team has. Do you feel like that is still the case right now, or do they kind of need to take a step back and wait for that next round of items? Because Centaur almost had Blink Dagger now, and he still almost does.
Yeah. I think maybe if they wanted to play this style too, the mechanism might have been a little bit better for the Darkseer. But going for this helm play instead, perhaps if he had some sort of a combination to go with him, or the armor were just maybe not doing enough work. Although as smart as it was, in terms of like the physical damage up against the troll and the sniper, wasn't able to quite get the same impact that maybe that mechanism would have in this case. But he's currently just going back for arcanes, and then we'll likely start working towards it then. So the Blink Dagger, though, the next big item that could likely make a difference here for them is their Terror Blade works towards a Dragon Lance, and then subsequently the Yasha that you'd expect. Speaking of Yashas, Aloha Dance. Jeez, he said his build didn't change. I didn't expect a build from like 2015. but it's S and Y.
Yeah.
It's the dead item that I think we've seen once so far this qualifiers on a Life Stealer, and that was it, just because of the fast pace they had going.
I feel like it's really good still, like, because it did end up getting pretty heavily nerfed, but there was still it was kind of okay for melee heroes. I think the biggest nerf was just aimed at making it a lot worse for range. So you got the 30% maim chance, you get 26% movement slow from it as well. So in some ways, I feel like it's still pretty decent in that way, and like just staying on top of targets, and since you've got the bash built into them, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just like attack speed just doesn't sync well with Echo Saber, so it's not, like you don't really want to invest so much into Echo Saber when you're also building so much into attack speed, or when your whole hero is built around having that attack speed. It's sick to get that like double bash for sure, but as the game gets later and later, you attack so fast anyway that whole value is lowered.
Yeah,
it's like building Echo Saber and Assault Cuirass and stuff like that. It's just, it doesn't feel that good compared to like Echo Saber Daedalus,
right?
Something along those lines.
Yeah. I guess, does this signal anything about the way that Friends want to take the game now, since they're investing into this sort of odd timinged item?
I don't know. I think it's fine.
Okay.
It's all right. It's just stocks. I think it's just like stock standard build. For most heroes, I would say it's a little bit different. But Troll, I don't know. He's Troll. Maybe it's like part of the hero. You don't have a choice. He's just this guy. He is S and Y. He's like S and Y incarnate. He's got 2 weapons. It's cross swords. Maybe that's part of it.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Double swords. That's good. Sanji and Yasha do sort of look, I guess they don't look super similar. They're a little bit different from each other. Would you, if you were fighting in a war, like back in the medieval days, would you want like 2 weapons that are about the same size? Is that something you'd be going for? Because I feel like,
I think you just want to shield and hide in the corner. War sounds kind of awful.
That's
fair. I think you just try and hide behind it, and you don't get bashed in the face by a mace.
Yeah. What if you could like combo together 2 of them based off of just like whatever you want? So like I'm looking at this. What if you could do like
butter? Did they have duct tape?
Instead of Sanjin and Yasha, like butterfly rapier, and that's a new item in Dota.
That sounds fair. I like that. Maybe you should be able to buy duct tape in the store and combine 2 items with that into one slot.
There you
Expanded
go.
backpack.
Or like MKB Radiance, it's like a double item there. That would be great.
This is good. You should try maybe like write some letters to Ice Frog, the balance team or something.
Mm-hmm.
I see him tweeting on Twitter sometimes. Maybe you could hit him up there.
You know what you could do? You could get like for an int hero, you want to be able to have that heavy burst damage. So instead of like Sanjin Yasha or Butterfly Rapier, you go like Dagon, and it's like double the Dagon.
Dagon 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're talking. Right? I think you should be able to combine Dagon and Necronomicon, and then they both spawn, and they're holding that level of the Dagon.
Okay.
So you can just, 2 Necros, both level 5, a little bit of some tab Qs happening there with your fingers, and you're like, bam, bam, bam. Just annihilate someone.
Well, the unfortunate situation right now is that somehow we have a pause. There's 5 minutes left.
I thought this would just be like a quick pause.
I thought that this was just, I really did as well. We had a 20-minute game, 22 minutes, and then an hour break, an hour and a half long 22-minute game, and then an hour break, and now we're 12 minutes into this next game, and somebody is not there. So hopefully it all ends up being resolved. If not,
I gotta turn down the heat down here. I'm getting hot and bothered.
Okay, I'm with you, man. It's a rough life. There's ain't no doubt about it. Today has been kind of a dumpster fire. It's been rough. But that being said, I think we should go back to talking about these items because we're on to something here.
Okay, I'm back.
You're back with me?
Yeah, I had to. I seriously had to turn down the heat. I might have cranked it a bit too much.
Yeah.
It's cold. It's a bit chilly.
Don't you? I thought you used a wood fireplace. Isn't that a thing?
Well, I do when my office, like my studio stuff setup, isn't upstairs though.
Oh, okay.
Down in my old basement, so it's just the heater behind me.
Yeah.
It's only -1, so I really shouldn't be complaining. Oh, look, I can just convert to Fahrenheit. It's 31 degrees. There you go. How's that?
That's pretty.
America.
That's pretty cold. Not gonna lie.
It's actually pretty warm compared to the past couple days. It was freezing when we started on Friday. Oh my God, it was like -10. It was chilly.
Can I tell you a story real quickly?
No, I don't have time. I've got this really important game going right now.
So, the other night, we were going out, my wife and I, to see some friends, and it was her, like, high school age friends, and so they were going over. She was going to spend the night, hang out, and then I was going to come back here and cast Dota because, that's amazing. And so we drive. It's about, like, maybe an hour away, roughly, through Portland. It's pouring down rain, like giant drops. You know those ones where it hits your windshield and you feel like the whole thing is going to cave in on you? It's awful. And so we're driving along. We get there, I hang out, have a couple drinks, have dinner, and then I drive back, come home. And I get in after this, like, very long hour drive, and I'm excited to cast Dota. I've, like, went out, I picked up a couple energy drinks, I got myself some food. I'm really stoked. And then I walk up to my door, and I go to open it, and I realize not only is it not unlocked, but I also don't have my keys. So I call her up, and I'm like, now I'm like walking around at like 1 a.m. or so, trying to sneak into my own damn house. I'm trying to open up windows and like pry them open and stuff. Nothing doing. I have to drive back out another hour to go get the keys, which I forgot to take out of her pocket. And then I came back and immediately walked into casting Dota. I had to like jump online really quickly. It was awful.
That's painful. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oof. Gotta find a trusty neighbor. Give them a key. Of course, you need a really trusty neighbor. No, that's fair. No, that's fine.
We don't trust our neighbors here. This is America. I don't know what that says about things, but anyways. Likewise, teams not trusting each other. In 5 minutes, well, actually probably more like 1 or 2 minutes now, the admins are well versed in this. It's going to be a problem.
Indeed, they've had some practice, a little bit of warm up. I'm sure they ran through the rules this morning.
Yeah. Got some writing on the map as well. I'm glad that they put that back into the game. It was definitely
that was
needed.
A sad time. Yeah, I was not okay with that being gone.
You could still hear pings, though, I feel like.
You could hear them, but you couldn't see them. Yeah, it was terrible.
Ugh.
And it was only sometimes, too, but at least that's it. All time used. Okay.
So this is a different situation than VP, though, because there's only one player that's gone. So Comanche, they have a choice now if they want to use their own time. It's the way that it's been implemented before, and I know that a lot of people get upset about this. We'll see if that is going to be the case now or not. And then the other question that ends up coming up is if you do play, you're playing with just 4 heroes.
Guys, question mark?
Well,
they need, like, draft Crystal Maiden.
Yeah,
I'm about to, like, rebind my pause key, honestly. I mean, I don't like to be an outspoken caster.
Yeah.
But the time comes where you gotta just unpause and then leave it to the teams to do their shit. If Comanche want to use their pause time, it's not against the rules, from what I understand, so they definitely can. But it's time to press the button if the time is up. Here we go. Now we got some discussion going. Now we're talking.
We don't know what any of this says, so we are on the outside right now. Aloha Dance, very much a powerful figure, if you will. You know what's interesting about this? Aloha Dance just tweeted right beforehand something about internet issues because of VP. I don't remember what the hell it was. Let me see if I can find it.
We give half our time. I like it. There. Reasonable.
Okay. That's what they're saying? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they need to have it for themselves as well. So let's see.
Good.
What was this tweet of his? He said, "No story sadder in the world than the tale of bears and internet. Amen." I don't know what that means.
Well, VP are bears.
Okay.
Are they not? They're polar bears.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Friends is just a couch. I guess they're like the Friends couch. Is that why it's a couch? I always just assumed, like, was there a couch on the TV show? I'm not exactly a Friends aficionado.
There was a Friends couch. You're right. Yeah, they always sat on the couch in the coffee house, Central Perk.
Oh, there you go. Got him.
That is a good show. I think it's probably a little bit overrated, but it's really good. Really, really good. I think it's one of my
crazy
favorites.
to think it was like that first big thing where everyone's like, oh, and they won $1 million per episode. And then I was thinking, like, I wonder how much like the Big Bang Theory people get paid now because of that. They must make a lot of money. I see a lot about that show. I feel like it's probably just as big as Friends was. But we have the internet, so it doesn't feel like it's as big, but it
Yeah.
definitely is.
I don't know, maybe. That whole way that television has changed, and like now you have because the thing about Friends and like all those TV shows was that it was also the young crowd that was into it.
Yeah,
Now
it was
people
also,
don't give a
like-
damn.
No, we so don't give a shit now. Who wants to watch TV? Why would I be forced to watch something and then wait for ads when I can just like click a button and watch whatever the hell I want?
I thought I was watching TV for the first time ever in like probably 6 months yesterday, but it turns out that my buddy was live streaming the game Super Bowl, so I wasn't even watching TV then. Like, it's so far removed. I think that maybe we're probably the exception, but it's something else to consider. By the way, everybody, in case you're just joining us, Comanche versus Friends is paused, Bignum. They've already used all of their pause time, and now they're also going to be waiting through half of the pause time of Comanche as well. So that's something else to keep in mind. We'll keep entertaining you to the best of our abilities. Sweet.
Isn't much.
No, it's not.
No, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I saw Skim tweeting something about how like one of his favorite moments was Gods just reading Harry Potter to the stream during one of the long pauses.
Yeah, that was an oldie. I was actually thinking the exact same thing. Oh god, between the games, I was like, I should really get something up to read. And then I saw that tweet, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I really should. But I just assumed, I was complacent. I thought that they do their thing, so I watched Black Sails instead, and now here we are.
Mm. Have you read any good books recently? Any recommendations for the people out there?
I spend most of my time just reading random things online, but I did read recently. What was it called? It was called Dead Wake. It was about the Lusitania, which is a boat that was sunk during World War One.
Huh.
I'm more about the non-fiction stuff. I find it more entertaining because I feel like I learn a lot while I read as opposed to fiction. Although, fiction's fine and stuff, but if I'm doing fiction stuff, I'd rather just play like a video game. I find it more enthralling, and you can do more stuff in terms of the world. I find that more engaging in a fiction sense. But non-fiction stuff I like.
Oh my God, he's here. He came back.
I see the words DDoS, so I'm just scared.
Oh God, really? Where's that? I don't see.
Well, it was the Comanche guys, so maybe they're just asking questions.
All right, they did it. All right, good
All right.
guys, Comanche. They made it work, and so Bignum back. Let's refamiliarize ourselves with what just happened. 4 people
All right.
went down mid.
They all died.
Tower is under attack.
Afterlife made cool plays, and they're gonna get the tier 1 before anyone can respawn. I think that's where we were at, right? We're getting an SMY probably on our troll. Yoku's starting to heading towards that Mjolnir. So let's get started with the Maelstrom first. But
All right. Comanche have 6 minutes left. Good to know, Umbrella. Thanks a bunch, man.
there we go. Good stuff.
Hopefully we don't have any more pauses that come up. That'd be really unfortunate. But occasionally those things do happen. And it looks like Aloha.Dance building his way in towards that Sanjin Yasha. What do you think, like, as far as, obviously this is what he's going for this game, as far as other builds are concerned, do you like the idea of going back for something like a Dragon Lance on this here? I think I've seen it a couple of times.
Yeah, I could understand if you really were fighting even earlier, maybe if he didn't have such a good time in lane, because he was left totally alone, so he felt comfortable farming up to a little bit of a bigger item before major engagements were going to start. But if you were in a little bit more of a poverty mode, just the stats from Dragon Lance could be very helpful. Sadly, you probably don't want to upgrade a Hurricane Pike. Some games it could be useful, but for the most part, unlikely to be so. The real question to me is what kind of a mobility item will he get? Will he go back in towards a Shadow Blade or a Silver Edge this game? There's not too much value in it other than like Centaur Return, which isn't that big of a deal. But we'll have to see. Just the general initiation too is slightly weakened because they have a Nyx Assassin, but you often want some way to stick on top of people with Troll Warlord, and we used to see like Link was a fairly common item too. We'll have to see. But there's the Stampede. We do have the counter one still available from Rubik. He needs it to save Afterlife.
Now they are going to be able to get the Dismember though, and that should be the kill. A nice pickup for them there. They definitely needed it. Well, here's the question that I have for you though: is it possible for Aloha.Dance to just go straight up tank and then try and punish them in the other way? Are they going to find this kill? They have the Satyr Banisher there now. They can't. And then instead just try and run down all of the towers and eventually siege high ground in that way. Do you think he needs a mobility item?
Just what the
Not necessarily. Just because they do have a Darkseer and a Centaur Warrunner. Like, they have to actually get to him to deal with him. Arc can be bombing from quite a ways away, but if that's happening, then that means Sniper's probably not being dealt with, so Yoke will be the one just hopping right on top of that Terror Blade and throwing his damage his way. So they might just invest more in towards damage and tankability then for Aloha.Dance and use him as a forward tank to move into these objectives. Shavash, hiding for now. Do they have scan on the Dire? They do not. They already... Oh, they must have just used it. Oh, it's coming back in like 13 seconds.
Okay.
A little bit too late to hunt for the Pudge.
I feel like they probably wouldn't go for that one, but there might be a good chance that they find a kill onto Yoku here. And no vision up along this lane. If they wanted to go, they could, but yeah, not seeing the rest of Friends. They back out. It's not going to happen. But we do have the Blink Dagger up on Centaur now. Picked that up recently. A good way towards his Force Staff as well. Where do you feel like the next initiation could come for, and do they need to go hunting?
I'm not sure if they're in a position to hunt, really. It's kind of a scary prospect here for Comanche. A lot of control over the Friends. The lack of money on this Darkseer is a little bit worrying, too.
I was wondering if they were baiting that out, but not going to go for it. Yeah, they need to make some more space for him, definitely. Colin's had a kind of rough one so far. Oh, my God.
Still kind of baiting here.
Oh! That was close. Right clicks almost came in breaking the Blink Dagger, but they were able to escape there. LTW.
Yeah, it's kind of what this game looks like it's the case right now, though, that they'll be doing a lot of that. And as they bully them around the map, Friends will probably have their eyes on Roche and try and secure that up for themselves. Courier delivering the Maelstrom to Sniper, and then the SNY is also on board there for Aloha.Dance. So top tower the next priority. Then from there, moving into Roche Afterlife, scouting up ahead. No vision here from the Radiant in terms of like Sentry Obs combos or anything, so they don't know he's around.
Yeah. It's a scary moment indeed, but Afterlife not wanting to go on, nobody else was in the area, so he is just going to head out and away. They do have a Sentry Ward Obs combo now, and they just spotted Afterlife heading by, so this should signal to them that, yeah, we got to be a little bit careful here. They have another Sentry Ward over to the side. Afterlife did head up, but doesn't end up getting greedy. They're playing this safe. They might end up being in a little bit of trouble now. Looking for the initiation. The hook off the mark. Bignum also going to get controlled for a second by the cask. As No Fear is holding the way back. They have the Impale if they want to use it, but looks like instead just going to throw off that Assassinate and find the kill. The Cone. A pretty easy one after that, and now Friends looking for more. They've been able to go into ILTW. He does throw with the Hoof Stomp, but not going to be able to be quite enough. A huge amount of damage comes out with that Double Edge and Maledict
nice
combo.
hook.
Going back in Afterlife, still a scary moment. They find the kill there onto the Terror Blade. Triple kill and ultra kill for Yoku at 17.5 minutes. That was so well done. The spacing of Friends was just immaculate.
Yeah. Sadly, the connected hook came a bit too late in that fight. Had that all kicked off, with one person getting hooked in, things likely would have looked a lot better for Comanche, but maybe just feeling the need that they had to take some sort of a fight or engagement there, and they just get utterly crushed and destroyed. We knew the next battle was going to be difficult for them, but I wasn't expecting it to be that devastating. No initiation available from the Darkseer, no mechanism for the burst heal.
And you would expect that with that Maledict double edge onto 3, it could have been a huge way to turn that fight back around, but they just did not have enough in the way of damage outside of it. Like, Terrorblade almost got no right clicks off there. Very tough situation. So next couple of minutes, how is this looking to play out? Can Friends just try and secure themselves an early Roshan at this point?
Yeah, I think the eyes for Friends is just Roche, whereas Comanche will try and hold on to as much territory as they can for as long as they can, get as much firearms as possible on the TB, and slowly retreat themselves to the high ground and try and use that Pudge and Darkseer to get some good hooks, get some big vacuum combos, and see if they can punish any sort of an overextension from Friends. So, aim of the game for the Dire is just simply patience. Get the easy objectives, don't overcommit onto anything, and use the advantage that you've built up. Because currently it's about 7,500 gold, and they're probably going to increase it here. And oh, nice blink though, not getting the right clicks off from the troll.
He got the hoof stomp before it came in. That would have been a great pickup for a kill. I don't think you see a troll make that much of a difference, but now Afterlife realizes there's a couple people up the hill, but does not want to walk up there for fear of sentry wards. They ping it out, and well, they might be emboldened enough to go for something. Still, they have vision now on Friends.
Dire's
Comanche.
top tower is under attack.
Yeah, as well, they've been keeping this
Radiant's
Darkseer
middle
creep
tower
inside
is
the
under
pit.
attack.
So they will always have an idea as to when Friends are off to the Roche, which could be helpful. They do have a decent Roche fighting lineup. If they don't catch Yoku, though, they could also just get annihilated inside the pit. They're shocked to see towers fall
Radiant's
quickly.
middle tower has
And
fallen.
whenever they want an objective, they basically just need to wait for the battle trance. And Roche will be no exception. So Shrine time. I'll just give them a chance to wait for this to come off cooldown.
This is nuts. I don't know if there's a way back into this for them right now. Like you mentioned, no mobility item right now. Going, and he just now got the mechanism. Do you think the Dominator was a bit of a bad pickup at this point, or do you think that it was really necessary?
I would say they just weren't quite able to utilize it to its full potential because of the way that first mid fight worked out. If they win that fight, then suddenly you take down the mid tower, you have a Terrorblade, he gets that Dragon Lance quite a bit earlier, maybe even into that Yasha. They could have been the ones who were pressuring and grouped up and forcing some sort of a disadvantage onto Friends, making Afterlife relatively useless, but because they lose that fight, they feel a pressure to start splitting up to try and get that farm, to try and win that back. That opens up the room for Afterlife to be scouting that all out and helping to set up into their own picks, and it's just, the game, it can just turn at any moment, really, and that kind of a build, I would call it a bit greedier, I think, to go for the Helm over the mechanism that early. And this was a case where it seems to have not paid off for him.
Yeah. Well, and he does have sort of the dream creep right now for a Darkseer with the Centaur running around. If he'd been able to get a nice vacuum stomp follow-up after the fact for ILTW, it would be a big one. And now Friends moving down. They break the stomp. The initiation comes out from ILTW. Maybe in some trouble now. They did end up stunning. Oh no, Hakone, he got stunned by the Nyx Assassin, so couldn't go in for the follow-up to save Centaur. Oh man, Spike Carapace working out so well there, and a low hit dance just turns the fight onto Chavash. Is going to end up dying. On the other side of the fight, though, it looks like Yoku gets turned back around upon. Bignum's big plays. Blink in with the hoof stomp, and that might be enough to keep Yoku left alive. He's still going to get ran down here by Hakone, and it does look like they might be able to finally turn this back around. The wall drop is going to be a death of him. Arc is also going to drop now to Afterlife, I believe. Well, maybe not. They take down No Fear. So the finals tally ends up being about a 3 for 3, and No Fear trying to escape.
Vacuum in 2.
Ah, he's good.
He's got him. Oh, it's close.
Oh my god.
All right, big fight for the Radiant, though. Huge amount of gold going their way. 2,054, and onto the Terrorblade is a nice target to get it.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a risky fight.
I feel like that could have gone so much worse for Friends, too. Like, if Darkseer had not gotten Spike Carapace from the Ion Shell on the Centaur, he could have came in with the mech and healed him, and that whole fight turns around.
Yeah, the Blink Stomp, too, just coming in from ILTW. Was only onto one person, wasn't a big start, and then the Witch Doctor has to be so careful around this Nyx Assassin. Like, Misha, he has to wait so long for his ultimate because the cask is just bouncing, and wow, quick Carapace there.
Well, They do still have eyes on him. Witch Doctor ultimate down with the Maledict. That might be enough. They're going to have to back out those. It looks like Chubash is going to go down, and, well, they end up finding the kill on the backside. LTW got himself a Nyx.
He staffed himself right in for a double edge. Nice little play. Yeah, they still go into Roche, though, with no Pudge to worry about, and Nyx Assassin not helping anyway. Feel pretty confident. Arc has the Sunder, has the Hurricane Pike. Oh, is he going to be crazy? He's not going to be crazy. Thought about it.
Oh, yeah. Wanted it in a bad way, but no way that that's going to end up happening. They might even lose their Centaur Conqueror here if they're not careful. So Aegis now online. All Tier 2 towers and shrines dead.
Well, about to be.
Yeah, they don't have a Pudge for the next couple seconds as well. I mean, is there anything they're really waiting on? They just finished the BKB on Troll as well?
Yeah, that BKB is going to be rather terrifying. Their one hope, really, in terms of that big high ground fight, much more difficult to achieve when he has the BKB available to himself. And now Yoku doubling down on defensiveness with Aegis and Hurricane Pike in tow, working towards BKB. Well aware that he's plenty of damage with Mjolnir and Battle Trance and Bloodlust. No Fear is busy this game, man. He has to run. He's like a courier. He runs the sniper, he presses E. Runs back to Troll, he presses E.
Does he have it on
he runs back to
autocast?
Sniper.
No, he doesn't.
Hey, you don't want to unintentionally hit Bignum there, man.
That's true. No, you
Top
give it
lane.
every now and then. That is going to be a kill onto Afterlife. Well, okay, nope, never mind. That hurts. You really wanted that one, and now the Centaur stomp as well.
Dude, don't get greedy. You know he's thinking about. Yeah, he knows.
He wants it.
He's gonna stomp.
Oh, no.
That was nice.
Fancy footwork by LTW. Meanwhile, Akon again in some trouble. He does put Bignum up on the cliff, so. I mean, it's kind of all for naught as that was a Blink Dagger just back out and away. Bottom lane was being pressured in by the Troll. He ended up forcing out the Glyph rather, so they're not going to have the Glyph for this defense. Ooh, hook off the mark for Yoku also.
I like what Misha's up to, though. He's getting planted here. Sneaky.
Oh. A couple more
Trying to force them off so he can get a little bit closer here.
Dire's top tower
Well,
is under
in the
attack.
midst of all of this, you do still have a Terrorblade who's picked up a Manta style. And there's one thing to be said about this lineup of Comanche is that if they do happen to find a kill, Terrorblade is going to rip through those towers.
Yeah, they have the possibility of a march down mid, even up to top and bottom to eliminate these tier 2s. It's a whole other story if they ever want to start breaching the opponent's high ground, but for now, just the idea of trying to hold will be enough for them. Aloha Dance, he is heading in towards that Silver Edge, so still pretty standard sort of strategies here from a Troll Warlord. This is a great tactic to use up against the Terrorblade too. Just the whole idea that if we can't immediately breach high ground, we know that they're going to be split pushing quite a bit, and Shadowblade's the most effective way to counter that against someone, even better than a Blink Dagger, so they don't really have that chance to immediately see you and make some sort of play.
Yeah, and the other thing is that while you do have, now ostensibly 2 Invis heroes, you're also not seeing a ton of detection coming out from Comanche because they just have to get into items that can fight. And if you're going to be able to, mitigate the amount that's coming out, it's quite good. We also do see the Centaur finishing off the Aghanims. Is that enough of a change in the complexion of how these fights are going to work out that you think Comanche maybe can take the fight?
It's, I guess if you get it off in the right moment, perhaps, but they don't really have the biggest wombo combo or anything from Friends. So, what's the duration on it? 4 seconds of 60% reduction? I mean, it's pretty nasty. Whoa, that was fast.
Well, they get the crush. All right, so they have found Afterlife. That's something at the very least. They knew where it was going to, but now in the middle of all of it, Yoku going to start to chase them down. Oh no, this is really, really bad. They cannot afford to get picked off like this. Arc also in trouble. All right, nicely played. Able to walk away from that one with the Sunder working his way, but still, scary moment indeed.
No Fear was about to give him the max fire blast right there. That actually could have been lethal. You roll the right
Radiant's
dice, but
bottom tower is under
nice
attack.
Manta into Sunder play and immediately healed right back up though.
Yeah. Oh, vacuum wall onto 2. They get the crutch. They get the double edge. That's what they wanted. Reflection out as well. Yoku very low. Is he going to die? They do end up killing him off with that own illusion of his own. Aloha Dance also trying to run away. Nobody as of yet is dead. Friends dropping so low. 14 HP. They do find that kill. Also going to run down Yoku. A team wipe almost. They're going to get away onto Rubik. But that was the dream.
That's the wombo combo. That is Darkseer Centaur. Wow. You don't expect it to work, but they just place the observers down, maybe starting to feel a bit confident, and there it is. God damn. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Did you get a fight recap on that? Because mine did not appear.
It was actually relatively even in terms of damage being dealt. Sniper still dealt out like more than the next two heroes for Comanche. He's still just such a monster. But
Afterlife.
Chubash, yep, they might. Yeah, I got him. There's a chance with like stick charges and throwing around with Dismember, but Bignum always on the ball. He's been playing a great game so far.
Yeah, he has 5-1 and 16 all. Again, I think it was 8 kills in. He was a part of everyone, and now even at 21. He's always there for the team.
That's right. And
Especially when you compare to everyone else on the team too, he's way up there. Next highest is 18 from Yoku. It's not really fair though when you're a sniper. I feel like the range is just a little absurd to always be there, stealing some assists. But now he can feel safer, even closer to the battle with a BKB.
yeah, absolutely.
Didn't save Aloha Dance last fight though, man.
And that's one thing to keep in mind is that was the 10-second BKB for Troll. That was the Aegis as well, and they only got the tier 3 tower. So right now, I wouldn't be feeling too comfortable if I'm friends after that type of a fight. And it's not like they've ever had a significant lead in this game in terms of actual net worth. They've just been a stronger lineup with what they're doing. But
Yeah, they just need to. They really can't afford another one of those big wipes. The experience that you hand over is very much brutal and matters even more so now that we have talents, just adding that extra element. 10% evasion this game on ILTW. Great talent to have against Troll and Sniper.
And eventually that late game gains return aura for the rest of his team. Pretty good as well. I think that's the one that you want to go for in this game, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you go for the hoof stomp duration because you're looking for that wombo combo, but
yeah, those are actually pretty good talents.
yeah, quite strong. And he's one of the top in the game right now, and doesn't look to be slowing down in terms of his experience gain.
I'd say the Sunder one's pretty sick.
Oh yeah,
The minus 30-second Sunder cooldown.
yeah.
Not always going to be useful. I can understand some games you're just never going to expect to get it off, and 15 all stats also tempting as a TP, but that's a pretty sick one.
God, the cooldown reduction on Sniper as well. All of these abilities, 10-second.
Yeah, that
cooldown.
is a sick talent.
That's really good.
I forget who it was. Someone took the 8 armor recently, and I remember Crit was just like, no, there's just no way. And I would have to agree, especially with BKB and Hurricane Pike,
Yeah.
and even Mjolnir, like the 25% cooldown
Dyer's
is just
bottom
unbelievable.
tower is under
Like,
Seven
if you get jumped
7.5.
as a sniper, you're
Radiant's
almost
top
always
tower
dead
is
anyway.
under attack.
7.5
8 armor
second
will save you.
on the assassinate as well. Like
Yeah, there you go.
that's insane.
Dyer's
Granted, you're gonna want to be
structures
right clicking a lot, but maybe go Ags. Maybe that's the answer.
Dyer's bottom tower
There you go.
is under
Next build,
attack.
guys.
I like it. We also did see the Darkseer take. Not often you end up seeing the 12% evasion for him at level 10, but it kind of makes a decent amount of sense given this game. It's basically all right click he has to worry about. So
And they never want to buy MKBs on the Dyer. There's no real reason to. Well, I mean, until Arc gets a butterfly, but
Right.
that wasn't exactly something that this game was heading towards, at least not for the past 5 minutes until that big turnaround. But Afterlife, he's again scouting here. That money is now here for Misha, so he's starting to throw down sentries. We'll definitely put one here, but not going to spot Afterlife. Look at their observer, though.
Yeah. He didn't actually take down this sentry ward either, so that's a little bit weird. Maybe feeling
I
not
don't think
super
he saw it.
comfortable. Okay. Oh, right, because that was just the vision that we had from.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's an accidental shrine usage. Classic.
Classic. Why don't we have a button yet? I don't know. Let me see. I would be okay with a button. I feel like that's not going to take too much effort.
We'll see, yeah. Definitely something that people have talked a lot about. This smoke is not going to be scouted, and it looks like they're heading right to where Aloha Dance is. He's going to kill these creeps pretty quickly, but might end up being in trouble. They find him. There's the catch. There's going to be the kill. That Observer Ward paying off. The Impale connects onto 2, though, and BKB pop. That's going to be BKB down. He's still going to die. Maybe also going to be able to pull back into Afterlife. The hoof stomp after the vacuum onto this Nyx Assassin. He's gone as well. A great combination. They did use their BKB for that on Arc, but still looking quite strong. Comanche.
Yeah, I'd say that's worth. Oh, look at this find by Misha. Scouts out the fact that Roche is up. This makes that high ground much more difficult for Friends, not having that up against the Wombo combo. You know, they have to blow their whole load at once and not having the Aegis.
Well,
Very scary.
Yeah, and we talked about how quickly they can make this push happen. It's going to be really tough for them, I think. Particularly Metamorphosis is going to be down, so they can wait that extra time.
They left the gems back there, too.
Friends looking for it, but they're a little bit late to the party. And Comanche, they could go for this. They have Stampede in 10 seconds.
No
Being able to go over the top, they outgone into No Fear, and he's dead.
Well, can't say that this was exactly a likely turnaround. We knew what the game plan was. We knew it would come down to that high ground defense, but Hakan making the Darkseer plays. Certainly showing why this hero is right up there with the tier 1 bans. We don't often talk about him as much as like Ember Spirit and Lone Druid and all those other guys. I guess because Darkseer's, he's been around. He knows the drill.
Yeah.
Gets to be tier 1 pick. Vacuum loses a couple seconds on its cooldown. And then eventually everyone's like, oh, yeah, nope, still a good hero. You can keep coming back here, bud. So,
Yeah.
until it's like 40 seconds cooldown, I think Darkseer's still meta.
That little play right there by Chuvash as well. He was scouted out, the Arcane Rune got picked, and then dusted, expecting to see somebody show up, but obviously Afterlife headed off in a way the other direction, so they don't have to worry about him for the moment, although he is heading back around. We'll have another Vendetta shortly. Yeah, I like seeing Darkseer in pro games. It's really good, but Nyx has seemed like a good answer to him as well, being able to counter it out, and potentially if he can get into range here, Chuvash in the area as well. They have the Shadow Blade initiation coming in. They want to go onto him right at the start. They haven't been able to find him, and Darkseer force-staffed away. Oh, great play. The damage mitigation is going to be there as well. He's able to get the Guardian Greaves off the whole time through. Arc is pounded away at these guys, so they botched the initiation. And now maybe in a little bit more trouble. Arc chasing down after Aloha Dance. That's a Blink Dagger on Terrorblade, by the way. What the hell?
Gotta catch the sniper.
Alan should be able to do it. They chase forward. Reflection back up in 2 if he wants to use it. And, well, Hurricane Pike, Yoku getting chased. He's going to try and get out of here and go for the TP away, but something tells me it's not going to end up working. Comanche.
Wow. And all that scouted out by a Nyx Assassin, feeling like they had the upper hand, but that save, keeping Hakan alive. They have built supremely tanky as they try and split push through the mid lane at the same time, but the Crimson Guard, a nice little pick up here to help out. Rare that you'll have a lineup where it's so value up for you, but we noted the fact that it's mostly physical coming from the Dire side early. It's all this attack speed, so these evasion talents, this Crimson Guard, paying out.
Yeah. And that damage mitigation, like imagine if that fight ends up like they actually do pick off the Rubit or the Darkseer at the start. I think that fight looks entirely different. Granted, you'd still have Terrorblade raining down Sniper, I would imagine, but you know, getting the Guardian Greaves off, having all those auras there, just really, really good. Refresher for Centaur. Another interesting pickup. What do you think about this mid Centaur and the way that he's been playing it?
Probably pretty niche. I mean, it pigeonholed them really hard into the high ground defense,
right?
Just because the way this game went. It was either going to be we snowball really fast, really quick, and I get a blink and we just blow one guy up and just go. And the whole idea of getting onto the back lines that we've seen up against Sniper and Lone Druid using Centaur Warrunner definitely applies to the Stampede, but they didn't get a chance to use that because they were behind in the earlier stages. So never would have seen this had it not been for the big vacuum stomp the two of them pulled off. So props to that, but it's certainly working out for this nice little phase. It could fall off into the later parts, but for now it's still good.
The other thing that's kind of interesting here, we're actually seeing a Pudge get a good amount of gold now. He's the plus 150 gold per minute instead of the respawn timer, so he's building now towards a BKB, and we'll have to see if he ends up getting into any of those top tier items. God, it feels they know exactly what's going on right here. Aloha Dance is scouting out for him, trying to take down that Centaur, and Misha's over here as well. Do they realize that people were in the area? Rubik gets the initiation off. They drop the Sentry Ward? No, they don't, but still going to catch Bignum, and that's probably going to be the death of him here as they drop the Witch Doctor ulti for measure.
Oh, that was Gem too. So that's removed from Friends. Can be hard to keep track of that vision. as well as that. Wow, that's actually ridiculous. So MKB was picked up by the sniper too, and that'll help with some of these evasion talents. Arc already looked good chasing down that sniper in the last fight. He's got a Scotty in his backpack, ready to keep up the chase. But he needs to be so careful against this lineup.
What is he? I guess he just puts it in after the Aegis. Is that what he's playing on?
Just
okay.
kind of wait.
All right. I was wondering if he wanted to swap that out for anything else, but he does kind of need a. I almost feel like the BKB might be a better thing to swap out there. Oh, I guess it just expires, so that makes sense.
I think his worry is that it's not so much about saving the BKB from when he comes up. He just wants to make sure that in that life that he is alive, he can kill the sniper.
Right.
If he just dies, it's not a big deal, but it's mostly he wants to actually get on top of the sniper and keep chasing him because he's really the only one, assuming that Darkseer and Centaur are initiating on everyone else.
They have the ulti from Centaur if they want to use it. Arc damage reduction.
Oh,
he gets the Sunder off. Oh no, and now No Fear in trouble. They're going to run him down. Oh man, that ulti coming in at the very last second ended up paying off. Double kill for Arc, and well, Bignum jumping away, but whoo, baby, that was close.
Damn. Always discussing the idea of your Dazzles and your Omni Knights with your Terrorblade, but it turns out Centaur, the Aghanim, is also pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That was unbelievably close to getting Arc. And yet another fight heading their way. Arc on top of the net worth chart. Popping up over top of the bad boys from 6.83. It's not your patch anymore, lads.
Well, doesn't quite hit the hook there. Is going to be able to pull back in Bignum now, though, and eliminated, eviscerated in a second. Vacuum stomp. Oh, well played by Hakone. Into the hoof stomp, into the double edge. See you later, friends. Comanche tearing them apart.
Heard a lot of discussion around the fact that this patch is still very, very dangerous. No matter the lead, no matter the control of the map you have, if you make that one fatal high ground mistake, it can all turn around so fast, and it can be very difficult with shrines and everything else available to them. But in this case, it was just simply vacuum hoof stomp. And a fantastic Darkseer game as per usual. The hero showing off what it's most well known for, and for good reason. Ridiculous high ground defense that you can't goof on. That was like a 10-second BKB that didn't get used early enough. A little bit greedy heading in, and Comanche, a very impressive win once again here. I feel like they pulled off a couple of these.
I think this is a team that is going to slip under the radar for a lot of people, and a team that you really can't let them have that happen. They've shown that they have a huge hero pool for a lot of their different players. They've shown that they're capable of winning, and particularly in these qualifiers. This is something that I was sort of talking about earlier, is you now have so much more opening up with Virtus Pro, the clear best team out of CIS, in spite of internet issues. They are no longer in this tournament. So all of these tier 2 teams, they have so much more to play for, because it's no longer just playing to get better and to potentially show up well and, you know, provide for your sponsors or whatever else it is. Now there's a real chance for them to go to DAC and compete at the international level. So really interesting stuff coming up. Any final thoughts or things that you feel like need to get changed for game number 2? It felt like Friends got what they wanted. It just, they didn't convert.
Yeah, the Nyx assassin will be an interesting one. Once again, I think it did do a lot of work this game, but it does struggle when you're actually going to that high ground moment. Not that that's really Afterlife's fault. Everyone else had to kind of pick up the slack. So I'm still expecting it to come out. I think he played it really well, and I think it helped secure that whole map and the idea of like, okay, now we can just be patient and we can wait and we can friend this up to that perfect moment where we go high ground patiently. They just got to get the, part 2 where they actually make it up the hill without getting blasted.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gents, that's going to do it for us for game number 2. It has been 4 hours and 9 minutes, and we finished our first game of Dota, so we're on good schedule.
But we finished the game, so I mean that is a great start.
Yeah, 1 game in 4 hours. It seems good. All right, we'll see you guys in just a little bit. Game number 2 right around the corner.